ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වරට SLT 4G වෙතින් දැන් Pure TV නරඹන්න. ඉදිරියටම ගෙන යන SLT 4G.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට
Tonight, no patients walking into hospitals. Health authorities buoyant that the government's coronavirus tracking methods are bearing fruit. More errant civilians. 24-hour special operation leads to over 1,000 arrests as Sinhalese and Tamil communities mark the new year with muted celebrations. Plot thickens. Brother of former minister BATHIUDEEN arrested. Herculean task. India extends countrywide lockdown, penning in the world's second largest population. All that and much more coming up on First at 9, this Tuesday the 14th of April 2020.
SMS කර රුපියල් මිලියන 3ක මුල්තැන්ගේ උපකරණ දිනාගෙන අවුරුද්දෙම 100 ටයිම් සේව් කරගන්න.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9, live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamma Kekanayaka. Now, the Sinhala and Tamil New Year dawned yesterday, but with a marked change from previous years. Not only that the New Year dawned in the evening, but the deafening sound of firecrackers, which, unwelcome or not, was absent. Temples and kovils were also deserted, which could well be a sign that the government's message for people to stay indoors until COVID-19 spread is brought under control is finally getting through. The traditional practice of visiting relatives was a big no-no this time around, but it led to a more intimate celebration.
The Sinhala and Tamil New Year of 2020 did not turn out to be what the country expected at the turn of the year. To say the celebrations were muted is an understatement. That, however, is a positive sign, meaning the people have taken to heart what the warnings and cautions of the health authorities in face of the unprecedented coronavirus pandemic. Temples which would normally be thronging with devotees were deserted as people stayed indoors during the period known as Punya Kalaya. Traditionally, this time period is used for religious observances. At the temple of the Sacred Tooth relic in Kandy, the traditional practice of boiling milk was done using a new clay pot, symbolizing prosperity, with only necessary personnel required present yesterday. The auspicious time to prepare meals this New Year fell at 10:05 last evening, after which starting work, transactions and the partaking of meals fell at 10:43 p.m. Another peculiarity during this year's Sinhala and Tamil New Year is the lack of liquor, fueled disagreements and scuffles. It was largely down to the government's decision to shut all liquor stores indefinitely with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic on Sri Lankan soil. Coupling the closure of liquor stores with the prevailing island-wide curfew meant that any traffic-related incidents stemming from liquor use were also absent. The emergency treatment unit of the Colombo National Hospital also reported some welcome news. It was none other than the lack of injuries caused by fireworks. The hospital, however, said that 11 incidents of physical violence and 6 cases of traffic-related incidents were reported.
Now, moving on with other stories, health authorities have revealed that currently the only new COVID-19 cases being reported are of individuals who have already been flagged as possibly having been exposed to known COVID-19 carriers. Now, Director of Epidemiology Unit Dr. Sudat Samaravira says that this is a clear indication of the efficacy of the government's methodology of tracking infected patients' movements and its quick action in quarantining at-risk individuals. Meanwhile, 5 more recoveries were reported today, which pushes the country's recovery rate to 27.85%.
Sri Lanka's total number of COVID-19 cases stands at 219 after 2 more cases were reported today. 5 more patients were also reported to have recovered and were discharged from hospital as well, which brings the total to 61. They were discharged from the IDH hospital, the Colombo East-based hospital and the Balikanda hospital. This brings the total active cases currently undergoing treatment to 153, along with 142 suspected cases under observation and one patient reportedly in critical condition. With that, Sri Lanka's recovery rate rose to 27.85% today from 25.8% yesterday. Recovery rates in Europe have continued to rise this week, with the exception of the UK, where no recovery numbers have been made available in the past 2 days. Director of the Epidemiology Unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, says that the only cases being identified were of individuals flagged as having been exposed to a known COVID-19 patient, which is a testament to the government's methodology of tracking movements and its quarantine protocols.
ඔහුගේ දවස් 5ක විතර කාලය තුල අපිට රෝග ලක්ෂණ සහිතව රෝහල් වලට පැමිණිච්ච COVID-19 රෝගීන් හඳුනා ගන්න ලැබුණේ නැහැ. ඔවුන්ගේ පරීක්ෂණ කළත් අපි පහුගිය දවස් 5 සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වගේ හඳුනා ගත්තේ මීට කලින් තහවුරු කරපු COVID-19 රෝගියෙකුගේ ආශ්‍රිතයින්ව පරීක්ෂා කිරීම තුළින් මේ තත්ත්වයෙන් අපිට පැහැදිලි වෙනවා රෝගේ එක්තරා විදියක පාලනයක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවායි කියලා.
Included among the 8 persons identified yesterday was the sister of the first patient detected from the area of Suduvella. The first COVID-19 patient from Suduvella was tested positive after his arrest by the police on charges of attempted theft. The female patient was subjected to a throat swab before being transported to the Navy's Nachikuda quarantine center and was admitted to the IDH hospital after test results confirmed her infection. The 7 others who were identified yesterday were among a group sent to the Punani quarantine center from the area of Beruvula, which has been identified as a COVID-19 high-risk zone.
ගිය මාස 30 වෙනිදා යවුවා පුනානි වලට පුද්ගලයන් 219ක්. එතකොට ඒ පුද්ගලයන්ගෙන් 16 දෙනෙක් මේ වෙනකොට පොසිටිව් වෙලා තියෙනවා. බේරුවල ප්‍රදේශයෙන් එතකොට 31ක් රෝගීන් ඉන්නවා. තව ඉතාලියෙන් ආපු 3 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. එතකොට 34යි. පුනානි කන්දෝරෙන් ලැබුණු 16 ගැන කාටවත් බය වෙන්න හේතුවක් නැහැ. මොකද අපි ඒ කට්ටිය කලින්ම අඳුනගෙන මේ ප්‍රදේශයෙන් පිට කරලා පුනානි කන්දෝරේ හිටිය කට්ටිය.
Currently, 45 cases have been reported from the Colombo district, while 44 have been found in the Kaluthura district, of which 16 persons have been identified by officials of the Beruvula MOH unit. Accordingly, health officials have commenced gathering samples from identified individuals in the area for PCR tests to be carried out. As such, the Panila and China Fort villages in the area of Beruvula, identified as areas at risk of heightened COVID-19 spread, have been placed under complete isolation.
මේ ගම්මාන දෙකෙන් අරංගිය කට්ටියකින් 16 දෙනෙක් ආසාදිතයන් බවට පත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා බේරුවලින්. සමහර වෙලාවට පරංගිය වුණාට බැරි වෙලාවට එක්කෙනෙක් දෙන්නෙක් හරි අපි අරංගියපු නැති කට්ටිය හිටියොත් කියන ඒ සැකේ හින්දා තවදුරටත් මේ වෙනකොට බේරුවල ප්‍රදේශයේ PCR පරීක්ෂණ කරමින් පවතින හින්දා අධිකරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා උපදෙස් දුන්නා මේ ආකාරයට මේ ගම් දෙකම පුදකලා ගම් දෙකක් හැටියට කරන්න.
Meanwhile, although the isolation protocols for the Atalugama village came to an end today, the area continues to remain under police watch. The village was placed under isolation after 5 members of the same family tested positive for the virus. Following this, 20 persons identified as having come into contact with one of the infected patients were placed under quarantine at the Sarvodaya Centre in Bandaragama. The group were allowed to return home yesterday after PCR tests gave them the all clear. Meanwhile, following the COVID-19 positive identification of 2 sanitation staffers employed at the Bandaranaike International Airport yesterday, health officials took measures to subject another colleague of the 2 to PCR testing at the Homagama hospital. Further, another 11 individuals identified as having been exposed to the first airport staffer were placed under self-quarantine at their residences in Rambukkana. Health officials, including the public health inspectors from Kegol and Rambukkana, visited their homes today to obtain the required samples for PCR testing.
අපි මේ වෙනකොට 2450කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් නිරෝධායනයට ලක් කරා. එයින් අද දවස වන විට 543 දෙනෙක් තවමත් නිරෝධායනය වෙමින් පවතිනවා. අලුතෙන් නිරෝධායන වන ප්‍රමාණය මේ සිද්ධිය සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපිට 60කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් දැනට අපි සොයාගෙන තිබෙනවා. රඹුක්කන ප්‍රදේශයේ 21 දෙනෙක් පමණත්, ඒ වගේම වරකපොළ 19ක් පමණත් අපි සොයාගෙන තිබෙනවා.
Health Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi said today that the current success of the government's COVID-19 containment and control efforts are a result of its proper planning and the quick stockpiling of essential medical equipment by the Health Ministry. She added that this was done at a time when developed nations have been struggling to provide their own medical staff with basic protective equipment.
අපට රටේ ඇති වෙන තරමකට පරීක්ෂණ කටයුතු කරන්න අවශ්‍ය උපකරණ PCR kits අවශ්‍ය swabs අපිට ඇති වෙනකන් තියෙනවා. අපි ඒවා ගෙනල්ලා තියෙනවා. මහන්සි වෙලා මුළු ලෝකෙම මේවා හිඟ වෙනකොට දියුණු රාජ්‍යයන් පලා ෆේස් මාස්ක් එකක් N95 මාස්ක් එකක් PPE kit එකක් නැති වෙලාවක PCR පරීක්ෂණ කරගන්න බැරි වෙච්ච වෙලාවක රටක් විදිහට අපට පුළුවන් වෙලා තියෙනවා මේ සියල්ල අඩුපාඩුවක් නැතුව තියාගන්න. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා අපි ඒ වගකීම රජය විසින් අපි ඉටු කරලා තියෙනවා. සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශ විසින් ඉටු කරලා තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, Director General Health Services Dr. Anil Jasingh stated that the ability of the health sector to operate in an environment free of restrictions was key to its quick action and effective containment efforts.
අද වන විට අපිට මේ රෝගී තත්ත්වය පාලනය කරගන්න හැකි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ විශේෂයෙන්ම අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා අගමැතිතුමා ඇතුළු රජය විසින් අපට දෙන ලබන අවවාද ඒ වගේම අපට මේ නිදහසේ මේ කටයුතු කිරීමේ හැකියාව ලබා දීම තුළ මම හිතන්නේ අපිට හැකි වෙලා තියෙනවා මේ විද්‍යානුකූලව මේ රෝගය පාලනය කරන්න.
කොරෝනා වෛරසය පැතිරීම වළක්වන්න සබන් යොදා දෑත් සෝදන්න.
Now, even though the police and the health authorities have been continuously seeking the people's cooperation in adhering to safety protocols, which are put in place for their own good, some people still show little care for it. In an attempt to crack down on curfew violators, the police launched a 24-hour special operation yesterday, which saw over 1,000 people being arrested. Most of the arrests relate to violating the curfew in some manner and transportation of liquor.
Police launched a special 24-hour operation at 6 p.m. yesterday to crack down on curfew violators. Accordingly, 1,001 people have been arrested by the police under the charges of travelling without a curfew permit, transportation of liquor, unnecessary loitering and the misuse of essential services signage. 215 vehicles have been seized during the operation. Since the imposition of the curfew on the 20th of March, a total of 26,830 people have been arrested by police while seizing 6,845 vehicles. Meanwhile, in Polonnaruwa, police officers apprehended 2 individuals for transporting liquor in a vehicle which is used to transport officials of the Regional Health Services Office in Polonnaruwa. The person who had handed over the consignment for transportation had also been present inside the vehicle during the time of the arrest. The suspects had 125 bottles of liquor in their possession, with each being 180 millimeters in size. They will be produced before the Polonnaruwa Magistrates Court tomorrow.
එම රියදුරාට එරෙහිව විශේෂයෙන්ම පොදු දේපොළ විශේෂීලා කරනු ලබන වැරදි පිළිබඳ පනත ඒ වගේම සුරාබදු පනත යටතේ ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අවුරුදු 8ක ඉරදඬුවමක් ලබා දීමේ හැකියාවක් අධිකරණයකට තිබෙනවා. පොදු දේපොළ පනතේ තියෙන සිද්ධාන්ත අනුව නඩුව අවසාන වනතුරු ආරක්ෂිත බන්ධනාගාරගත කිරීමට හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. දැන් හෙට දිනේදී අපි ඒ කරුණු මත ඔහුව ආරක්ෂිත බන්ධනාගාරගත කරන ලෙසට අධිකරණයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. ඔබ ගැන තියෙන විශ්වාසය නිසාම තමයි විශේෂයෙන්ම ඇදිරි නීති බලපත්‍රයක් ලබා නොදී ඔබේ හැඳුනුම්පත ඇදිරි නීති බලපත්‍රය හැටියට යොදාගන්නේ. නමුත් කිසිම අවස්ථාවක එය අවභාවිතා කිරීමෙන් වළකින ලෙසට අපි ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. වෛද්‍යවරුන් ප්‍රකාශ කර ඇති ආකාරයට මත්පැන් පානය කිරීම ප්‍රතිශක්තිය හීන වීමට හේතුවක් වන බව වාර්තා වෙනවා. යම් කිසි කෙනෙක් මත්පැන් නිෂ්පාදනය කරනවා නම් ඒ වගේ මේ බෙදා හරිනවා නම් එය මෙම රෝගය ව්‍යාප්ත කිරීමට අනුබල දීමක් ආධාර උපකාර කිරීමක් වෙනවා. ඒ අනුව අදාළ පුද්ගලයන්ට එරෙහිව කටයුතු කරනවා.
In the meantime, a CCTV camera recorded a retired army sergeant coming under attack by a group of people in Kotadeniava. He had been assaulted while on his way to purchase medicine for his mother. They had attacked the former army sergeant for not purchasing medicine from the shop owned by them. The ex-sergeant was also seen defending himself. The CCTV footage also shows a police jeep travelling past the location in question. The army sergeant was admitted to the Negambo Base Hospital and his wife has lodged a complaint with the Kotadeniava police station. However, no arrests pertaining to the incident have been made so far. Meanwhile, 2 persons found transporting liquor under the guise of travelling to hospital were arrested by the Jayala police in Ekala. Elsewhere, officers of the Matra Excise Office arrested 3 suspects during 2 raids in Aparakka and Asuralia areas with 1,400 litres of Goda, 40 litres of liquor and a number of tools used for the production of liquor also being seized. Meanwhile, the Kalutara District Anti-Corruption Unit and the Divisional Anti-Corruption Unit seized 2,000 foreign cigarettes, 7,000 BDs and liquor hidden in a house in the area of Singhagama in Payagala of Kalutara, which were intended to be sold at inflated prices during curfew hours. In a separate case, Dharaniyagala police arrested an individual while in possession of Vallapatta, also known as Egavood, and Venivalgata in the Dharaniyagala Reserve. Parts of Vallapatta weighing 103 kilograms and 334 kilograms of Venivalgata were seized by the police. In the meantime, a 40-year-old sergeant attached to the Horopatana police station succumbed to his injuries after his motorbike collided with an oncoming lorry in the area of Elugaskada. The officer had been returning home after duty. In another development, the 2 police officers who were suspended under charges of disobeying orders and disreputable behaviour have been reinstated. The 2 police officers in question took matters into their own hands and disciplined 4 persons loitering along Dali Road in Maradana on Sunday.
Relief measures targeting vulnerable sectors continued today as programs aimed at continuing the supply of essential goods commenced throughout the country. Farmers who are struggling with a dearth of demand for their produce from traders were given a lifeline today as both the Civil Defence Force and local government authorities continued to purchase yields for retail distribution.
Civil Defence Force personnel in the Anuradhapura district continued to purchase farmers' yields directly from the farms today as well. Farmers in the area welcomed the move as they faced a disaster situation with the inability to get their produce to the markets due to the current curfew situation prevailing across the country, which has stifled regular trade.
ගොඩක් සන්තෝෂයි. ඇත්තටම මේ සියල්ලම නැති වෙන්න තිබුණේ. ඉතින් මේ තත්ත්වය තවදවස් දෙක තුනක් තිබ්බනම් මේ කොටුව සමහරට නැති වෙන්න තත්ත්වයට වැටෙන්න තිබුණා.
Meanwhile, the Talava Pradesh Sabha commenced the purchase of harvests from farmers in the area in Anuradhapura.
ඉතින් දැනට රජ රට එළවලු හා නුවර එළවලු වෙළඳ මහතුන් ගාව තියෙනවා. මෙතනින් අලෙවි කළා අපේ ජංගම රට දාලා තියෙනවා කොට්ටාස මට්ටමින් ඒ රටත් ගෙනල්ලා අලෙවි කිරීම සිදු කරනවා.
Further, banana cultivators in the area of Suryaveva have been facing a looming disaster situation due to the inability to sell their produce. The farmers say that with no traders arriving at their farms to purchase their yields, most of their crops were on the brink of getting spoiled in the fields even before harvesting.
ලොරියෙන්නේ නැහැ බඩු ගෙනියන්න වෙලෙන්ද ආව කොටු වලට දැන් ඒකත් නැහැ. පගාවල් රැක නඩත්තු කරගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. දරු පවුල් නඩත්තු කරගන්න විදියක් නැහැ.
ඒ වගේම පළතුරු ගොවියන්ගේ නිෂ්පාදනයේ ගන්න දැන් වැඩපිළිවෙලක් හදලා තියෙනවා. හෙට දිනේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා අපේ රත්නපුර දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ඇඹිලිපිටි ප්‍රදේශයේ ඒ වගේම හම්බන්තොට දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ කෙසෙල් ගොවියන්ගේ කෙසෙල් ටික රජයේ මගින් ගන්න.
Meanwhile, following an AdaDerana news report highlighting the plight of 70 low-income families in the Andaramandia village of Kumbhakana in Monragala, who claim to have received no relief assistance from the government, officials launched an investigation into their claims. Accordingly, Monragala District Secretary Gunadasa Samarasinghe and other officials visited the village of Andaramandia yesterday to look into the matter. It was revealed that the woman who had recently claimed to media that she had not received any government assistance had indeed already received the Rs 5,000 relief grant.
ආහන ලබා දුන් 72ක් ඉන්නවා. ජීවනෝපාය අහිමි කියන එකට 8ක් තියෙනවා. පොරොත්තු ලේඛනයේ යටතේ ඉති ඉන්නත් ආබාධිත 3 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. ඊළඟ වැඩිහිටි 16ක් ඉන්නවා. පොරොත්තු ලේඛනයේ එක්කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. මේ කණ්ඩායමටම දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා වැරදි මත කරන්න එපා. සමස්තයක් වශයෙන් කිසි දෙයක් ලැබුණා කියන එක ඔයාලා පිළිගන්නවා නේද? බොරුවක් කියලා. ඔයාලට කැමරට ගියුමට තමයි දුන්නේ පන්දා. ඒකෙන් කාලවිලා ඉන්න.
In the meantime, residents of the Metsavana fishing village in Tissamarama made claims to media of not having received the Rs 5,000 government grant. Tissamarama Divisional Secretary Kalinga Priyavansa visited the area yesterday to inquire into the matter. In a separate development, Minister of Transportation, Power and Energy Mahinda Amaravira warned that action will be taken against school van operators who have been continuing to charge parents a monthly payment during the current school holiday imposed by the government in the face of the COVID-19 threat.
අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේ නැවැත්තිය යුතුයි. නැතිනම් මේ සඳහා නීත්‍යානුකූලව කටයුතු කරන රජයේ විදියට අපි සියලු කටයුතු කරනවා. බස් රථ සහ වෑන් රථවලට ලීසින් වාරික ප්‍රමාද කළා දෙන්න කියලා රජය ඒක ඉෂ්ට කළා තියෙනවා. රියදුරන්ට රජයෙන් දෙන ආධාර මුදල ලබා දෙන්න කටයුතු කළා තියෙනවා. එවන් අවස්ථාවක දෙමව්පියන් අසීරුතාවයට පත් වෙන කාර්යයක් කිරීම ඉතාමත් නරක ක්‍රියාවක්.
Now, AdaDerana launched its relief program with the onset of the curfew to provide assistance to people who are undergoing hardships. In that effort, Deal Foods recently extended its support to AdaDerana in distributing essential items to religious establishments and to people. Meanwhile, CBL LANKA'S Soy too joined hands with us. A donation was also made to our humanitarian arm, AdaDerana, by the Sarupai Recipient Spice Company. Vijay Products has too come to assist AdaDerana in this endeavour. We pay tribute to all who lent a helping hand during these trying times while stressing that we are ready to continue the work for the people in times of distress. We will see you again shortly after this break. Stay tuned.
නිෂ්පාදිත දිනය කවදත් අලුත් වටවල තේ අරගන්න.
වටවල තේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ තේ එක.
Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, RIYADH BATHIUDEEN, the brother of former Minister RIYADH BATHIUDEEN, has been arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department. The arrest has been made with regards to the probes on the Easter Sunday terror attacks which took place on the 21st of April last year. Police media spokesperson SP Jali Senaratna said that RIYADH BATHIUDEEN was arrested in the area of Putlam. Now, former parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayake was remanded until the 20th of this month after being produced before the Nugegoda Magistrates Court. The former MP was arrested on charges of violating curfew, aiding and abetting the violation of curfew laws and obstructing the duty of police officers.
A person from Piliyandala had arrived at the Madivela Parliamentarians' housing complex last afternoon, intending to meet former parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayake. Subsequently, the individual has been questioned by police for not possessing a valid curfew pass. Arriving at the scene, former MP Ramanayake had accompanied the individual to his house, threatening and obstructing police officers from carrying out their duties.
මේ වාහනේ මෙතන ලියවිලා තියෙනවා. මේ ජීප් එකේ නම්බරේ දිනවා. මූ මේ කී දවසක් මේ පාත් එක දාන්නද? T56 තියාගෙන හිතනවා මේ ලොක්කෝ කියලා. අපි මහජන නියෝජිතයෝ. මේ මගේ ෆිසියෝതെරපිස්ට් ස්පෝර්ට්ස් මිනිස්ට්‍රියේ රෙජිස්ටර් වුණ මිනිහා. ඔය එකපාර නෙමෙයි කළේ. අපිට මේ කාට සද්දි සම්මුඛ මිනිස්සුනේ හරිද? මොළ මේ ඉන්නේ රජේ නිලධාරී ඉන්නේ. මෙයාත් රජේ නිලධාරී. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් මිනිස්ට්‍රියේ මෙයා. මොකේ වුණත් වීඩියෝ කරන්නේ කියලා මාත් වීඩියෝ කරනවා. මේක ආගන්න. මාත් වීඩියෝ කරනවා. මේක ආගන්න. මේ වීඩියෝ තමයි නේ කවුද වීඩියෝ කරන්නේ? වාඩි වීඩියෝ කරන්නේ. වීඩියෝ කරන්නේ. කුඩු ගංජා ගේන්නේ නැහැ. එලෝලුයි කාලුයි ගේන්නේ. මෝටල්ලන්න බල. පල්ලි මෝටල්ලන්න. අංගන්න එපා.
Accordingly, the Marihana police arrested former parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayake and the individual who had come to visit him on charges of violating the curfew laws, aiding and abetting to violate curfew laws, and obstructing the duties of police officers. During the argument that ensued, the former parliamentarian is heard identifying the individual in question as his physiotherapist. However, the Government Physiotherapists Association says that the person who came to visit the former MP is not a physiotherapist. The former MP was produced before the Nugegoda Magistrates Court this afternoon and was remanded until the 20th of this month. The other person who was arrested last evening with the former MP was released on a surety bail of 100,000 rupees.
The LOLC group says that it has sealed a $603 million deal with Korea's biggest commercial bank, Cookmin, for the sale of its 70% stake held in Cambodia's largest microfinance company, Prasak. In local currency, the deal is worth around 120 billion rupees. LOLC confirms that both parties had received the necessary approvals from their respective regulators in both countries to conclude the transaction, and the first tranche of $422 million was received by LOLC International Private Limited recently. The balance of $181 million will be due in 2022, and the post-transaction value of Prasak is valued at $862 million. The Asian Development Bank has tripled the size of its response to the novel coronavirus pandemic to $20 billion and has approved measures to streamline its operations for quicker and more flexible delivery of assistance. Now, the package expands ADB's $6.5 billion initial response, adding $13.5 billion in resources to help ADB's developing member countries counter the severe macroeconomic and health impacts caused by COVID-19. The $20 billion package includes about $2.5 billion in concessional and grant resources. ADB's President Masad Sagu said that this pandemic threatens to severely set back economic, social and development gains in Asia and the Pacific, reverse progress on poverty reduction and throw economies into recession. ADB's most recent assessment, released on the 3rd of this month, estimates the global impact of the pandemic at between 2.3% and 4.8% of gross domestic product. Regional growth is forecast to decline from 5.2% last year to 2.2% in 2020. Now, the International Monetary Fund is set to give immediate debt service relief to 25 member countries as part of measures to alleviate the devastating economic impact of the deadly coronavirus. Its managing director announced the debt relief decision in a statement yesterday.
IMF's Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva said in a statement that the move provides grants to its poorest and most vulnerable members to cover their IMF debt obligations for an initial phase over the next 6 months and will help them channel more of their scarce financial resources towards vital emergency medical and other relief efforts. The IMF's revamped Catastrophe Containment and Relief Trust currently has $500 million with Japan, Britain, China and the Netherlands among its main contributors. Georgieva urged other donors to help replenish the trust's resources and boost further the ability to provide additional debt service relief for a full 2 years to IMF's poorest member countries. According to the statement, the countries that will receive debt service relief are Afghanistan, Benin, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo DR, the Gambia, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Haiti, Liberia, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mozambique, Nepal, Niger, Rwanda, Sao Tome and Principe, Sierra Leone, Solomon Islands, Tajikistan, Togo and Yemen. Last week, the World Bank said it would roll out $160 billion in emergency aid over 15 months to help countries stricken by the virus, including $14 billion in debt repayments from 67 poor countries to other governments.
And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.